Aftershock Glaive. Just really look to try and shut down the lane early. Catherine's going to help with that as well. Afterburn into the Merciless Pursuit, and you can lock down a target.
Dang.
Honestly, Catherine was kind of what I was expecting here from Gabe. I feel like he's gone back to his roots to a certain extent, because he certainly used to play a lot of Catherine back in the day.
Yeah, definitely. And it's also a very strong pick into the Kestrel. You can go ahead and get your B up on Catherine, just go ahead and reflect any of that burst damage back. It's really, really nice.
Or if you can block the one-shot,
that
does a huge amount of reflected damage as well as just preventing one of your carries from having to take it. So definitely could see some plays coming out from Gabe Vizzle on this Catherine for the final pick for Echo Fox. This is where I would expect, again, maybe something like the Gwen to come out. Just to try and deal with the fact that you're going to have Glaive constantly looking for ganks up in the lane.
Yeah, I mean, I like Gwen having the skedaddle to get out of some of these stuns. Also, in the same sense, if you did take the Baron, you could overdrive the jump jets, but the question is, could you make it to that point in the game?
Yeah, that's going to be the difficulty there, and I don't think you can.
I mean, we saw a Baron earlier on in Europe, and around 13 minutes is when he picked up 3 items, and we were saying behind the desk whilst watching the cast, okay, now's the time you gotta be afraid.
That's going to be an
Alpha,
okay. Kestrel going to lane.
Alpha coming out. This is the first Alpha we've had for Vainglory 8 now. This is another pick that's seen a lot more play in North America than it has in Europe, so there's definitely some big regional differences that we're going to see throughout the day.
And eventually the Unified Championship. Just got to give that a little plug. We're going to see international competition way more in 2017. All right, so Alpha, Kestrel, and Arden. This reminds me a little bit of a comp we saw earlier where I believe we had Arden and Rhyme with a Kestrel, and they were kind of using that sticky front line, very durable front line to give Kestrel time. It didn't work so much, though, because Rhyme didn't build very tanky. Do you think this is going to work better just by virtue of the Alpha Infinite Reboot?
I think the damage output out of Alpha is immense, so they're going to have to respect that fact, and then you'll maybe lose track of Kestrel through the fights. I mean, that's kind of where I see that going. And buffed up with a Vanguard coming out of Arden, it's going to mean you have to really respect when Alpha engages.
Yeah, and while that is true, I do still think that an edge in the draft does go to Cloud9, especially with this being the cooldown Glaive. Alpha very likely going to be looking for those big termination protocols. If you get afterburned out of a fight right after you use Termination Protocol, you're not getting back in.
Cath could also reflect that. So that's pretty predictable.
So you're thinking maybe Weapon Alpha compared to Crystal? Or
no, Crystal Alpha.
I think it has to be Crystal Alpha.
It's incredibly strong right now.
Yeah, I mean, it does do a lot of burst damage. Catherine's got to be the real concern for you there. All right, which composition are you favoring? Which team do you think is going to win Game 1?
I'm going to go with Cloud9 on this one.
Cloud9.
And that's compositionally, you think they just really strong here, or is it based on their performance in the preseason?
Little column A, little column B. A little bit of both.
Yeah, I think Cloud9, strong draft, strong team. Echo Fox, they definitely are going to be one of the top teams of the season. They have to prove themselves to me, though.
All right, well, let's see who's going to take home Game 1 of the North American stuff today. Let's hand it on over to Dalsey and Forecourt Jester.
Thank you so much, Axon Jackson, for that. It is the North American 2017 split, Cloud9 versus Echo Fox, and I do have Mr. Forecourt Jester by my side to break down the action. How are you doing today, sir?
It's a lovely day for Vainglory. Might be cold outside, but curl up with some hot chocolate. Let's find out who's going to be the beginning slots of the point bearers here in NA. It's just a really fantastic circle.
And yeah, the teams that we have lined up in front of us are much anticipated as well. It's the new American Kraken team, the all-star lineup of Cloud9 versus this Echo Fox roster, which has Fuji at the helm, making sure that everything goes as planned. Two basically anticipated rosters that I just can't wait to see how they fare as the season goes on.
It will be certainly interesting to see how they clash. Cloud9, you can see, is really making sure that they dominate down in the jungle, making sure that no Elder Treant goes unpunished. But Kestrel, as that pick, I originally thought perhaps it was going to be Lone Delphi out there, but when he picks up that Alpha, you know that he's going off to that jungle. He's been playing quite a bit of that in solo queue as well.
Yeah, no, we've been doing our research and we saw that that was happening. Did throw a bit of a spanner in the works. We kind of figured that Kestrel may have been going to the jungle, but hey, this is where the new draft kind of shows its favors, that you can kind of, you've always been able to, but now with the double ban, having those two important picks that you just don't want to play against allows for you to just open up the playing field. Currently both teams, they're just doing their due dividends, they're farming up, making sure that everything goes well. You're going to see old school Gabe Vizzle back at the same time. and head back towards that lane to continue up. So Echo Fox going to use that relief in pressure to follow suit. But unlike EU, we're not seeing too much fighting happening early. This Elder Treant kind of just going a little bit uncontested.
And there was definitely a lot of banter about a weapon Vox coming through here with Old School. I do think it makes a lot of sense. Leave I Love Joseph to go into this Crown, this Aftershock build that we've been seeing more and more. We'll have to see if Joseph will actually go through that. I have been surprised a bit here in Challenger before, but Evo 8, like, everybody's so talented, it could go crazy.
Absolutely. Expect nothing less from both these players. So we do have those first backs, and you can see Old School just opting in for a little bit of weapon attack speed. Mixi, he's going for more damage here, so Fox may be wanting to prioritize a bit of early damage onto this box, try and see if they can't get an advantage in the lane. But hey, you're up against Old School. This guy just doesn't miss a CS.
Yeah, it's very hard to really get a lot of pressure up against Old School. There's a reason we called him Gold School in the previous incarnation of Evo 8. The guy had 2 VG Gold accounts in the season. I'm sure he has way more by now. He's, you know, multiple VG Gold champion at this point, but it's extremely hard to get an edge up on him. That's where the team play has to come in, and unfortunately early on, I'm just not really sure that Echo Fox is going to look for something. Like, once Lone Delphi builds up a bit, it might change the tables a bit, but until then, it's probably just going to be Farm City.
Yeah, no, I can see that happening as well. Kind of just waiting on the pressure from both these junglers. I Love Joseph and Alone Delphi currently situated by that Elder Treant, who's going to have its departure in just 10 seconds time. So it looks like Fox may just roam all the way down so they can secure this Elder Treant as a team. Can Joseph steal it? No, he can't. And in fact, he's just going to have to use that afterburn to escape the action. But with a couple more seconds, we will see this jungle now intensify. That means that the Crystal Sentries and the jungle shop are in play. And Cloud9 look like they may just make rotations to prevent Fox from being able to go and shop up with the new jungle shop.
All right, so Cloud9, jungle does intensify. We get out that item shop immediately. Joseph into a banner, so he is going to be looking for that crown here sooner rather than later. And I want to say you're going to see the same with Delphi. I'm not actually sure about the banner part, but he is going for the Aftershock first. I'd be very surprised if he actually went for something like the Myth first. I would expect to see a Broken Myth down the line, since he should be building up into that crystal, looking for that explosive ult. But until then, again, you know, just kind of got to farm up. We don't quite have the kill potential, I feel, from Echo Fox yet. Cloud9, if they wanted, I do feel, Dowsy, that they could actually like be a bit more aggressive. They have that glaive. He's already started up that cooldown reduction. That afterburn can get down real low by the end of this game.
Definitely can, and there is a bit of a pause, and we'll let you know what it's about if we get the word. Hopefully we'll be getting out of it soon. But a couple of key items just been purchased up here for Court. You've got the fountain for both the captains, Gabe Vizzle and Cole the Meek have purchased that up. A breaking point for Old School, and you know, we've seen in Challenger Series the popularity of breaking point double monocles, Tyrant on Vox, happening pretty much every time we see a Vox in play. I'll be interested to see what Mixi gets on this Kestrel. You can kind of see that the build's a little bit mixed, looking like it's going to build into a Sora Blade first, but just not there yet. Breaking point just a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, for a weapon Kestrel, especially early on, like, she could go into the breaking point double monaco, but just having that solid weapon power helps reduce the cooldown, that activatable cooldown on the shroud that she has, or the active camo. That's the one.
Yes.
So that becomes a big survival tool later on. You need a good amount of base weapon power to make that happen. So Sora Blade could definitely go a long way there. Until we do actually bring this one back forward, you know, the time is 4:46 into this matchup. If you can get your first roaming items before 5 minutes, that used to be like the hallmark of a really good opening, like a really good captain, right? You're there in the lane, you're soaking, making sure that you're getting all that extra gold from your laner, especially if you bring Iron Guard contracts into the mix, which I do believe we have one here on that Catherine. You know, he has been babysitting Old School pretty decently there. So picking it up before 5 minutes, that's going to be clockwork here in VG8.
Definitely will. And for both these teams, they've kind of got something to prove here. You know, Cloud9, you heard already that from Humanist, this is an all-star roster. You've got Old School, who is almost second to none in the lane as far as that presence, the ability to get gold, and then just the dominance he can bring. I Love Joseph is one of the top junglers in North America, and you've got Gabe Vizzle. He did go through a stint where he was playing in the jungle role, but he's now back in that captain role, and that's really where we've kind of seen him shine throughout his Vainglory competitive experience.
Now, throughout some of the Challenger series as well as the VG8, we've seen some kind of like curveballs when you throw out there. Like we've seen a Roam Vox in the Challenger series, for example. So having that captain flexibility, especially with Gabe, when I saw this Glaive picked up in drafts, like, oh, I wonder if they're going to like just throw him on Gabe, because Gabe used to be, the Glaive master. But having just a little bit of an extra edge when it comes to drafting like that, it can really play mind games with your opponent.
Certainly can. I am getting word that the reason we are paused at the moment is that one of the players has DC'd, but as I say that, the unpause comes through, so it's time to get back into the action for this Vainglory 8 matchup. Pick up where we started, left off even. So it is currently just back to the farm build that is this game at the moment. Both teams not really wanting to get too antsy with each other. When you start to hit this top echelon of play, your teams recognize when farming their heroes up to get those power spikes is the right thing when they have those advantages. And look at that, Storm Crown completed for I Love Joseph. Perhaps this is kind of that point. Level 6, we start to see some ganks happening.
It's going to be the first big item pickup for Joseph there, and as you did say, Old School, he already has one. You do have that fountain ready to go. Gabe Vizzle, though, not level 6, doesn't have a silence at least available yet, and he's only put one level into his Merciless Pursuit, so he's going to be heavily depending upon that Storm Guard of his, that bubble, that reflect, to really come out big in some of these team fights. So again, just there's really no need to rush. Like, some games, right out the bat, it's Bloodfest, but I mean, slow and steady can still win the race here, Daz.
Always can, and we see it so often. The team with the patience is able to break through. Do you see Lone Delphi though? He wants some action. Just head into the lane, help Mixi push up. Mixi currently sitting on 1800 gold. That's enough for a Sorrow Blade. So I can imagine Fox want to try and head down to that jungle shop and try and perch it up. There you go. Right on cue. Almost like I'm directing this. Ooh, a bit of extra farming, why not? But yeah, you're going to see the Shatter Glass picked up, Sorrow Blade picked up, huge power spike for Echo Fox.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to fight, this would definitely be a really good time to grab it. Golden Mink, though, not level 6. He has a little bit of a ways to go yet. Once we do get into his Gauntlet situation, though, that plus Delphi blowing up on people, that could be huge as we see a decent gold payout go out. That's a rather early gold mine.
It is, and it was kind of snuck under Echo Fox's noses. They didn't have vision that it was happening. They'd just been in that area, so I guess they kind of just figured it wasn't happening or didn't expect Cloud9 to take it. But an early gold payout does mean that the players have a bit of a boost in their gold. There's the one shot going out from Mix. She does get completely missed, so it doesn't mean any damage coming out. But it is a weapon-powered Kestrel, so we're not really relying on those one shots to really be the burst of damage.
Yeah, he's just really looking to add a little bit there to Old School. Won't have a lot of innate healing. If it landed on top of Gabe, like, whatever. He has that fountain. He's going to regen it passively anyways. But Mixi, he took the shot and didn't come up anything for it. So either way, a little bit of a cooldown on that one. Once we have that call, here he is. He is in position. A Gauntlet could come out to start this fight. Yeah,
well, it looks like Cloud9 also want the fight. They're filtering very close to the action here. Almost baiting Echo Fox to go in. I Love Joseph is just so far up here, and his afterburn could really just knock someone out of position. Have to be some quick fingers to make sure no one gets caught out. There are reflex boxes already purchased up for Mixi. And Lone Delphi straight onto the tree, and this is going to be a fight. And Lone Delphi is in the middle of it. But Termination Protocol going to come out. He's looking for that first damage. He gets knocked away. Great afterburn from Joseph. That one shot won't connect, and Cloud9 are just going to shake their hands off with it. They don't need to fight. They are the masters of their destiny.
They weren't looking for a fight, but they definitely had a huge disengage opportunity that I Love Joseph absolutely nailed. Having that afterburn ready to roll and just knocking it back, Lone Delphi really did save their hives a good bit. You also saw the Crystal Sentry getting involved, so Cloud9 may be able to make a pretty graceful exit. They still have Fountain. Actually, both our captains here still rocking the Fountain, so if we do get into the thick of it once more, we still at least have those panic buttons.
Not only that, Cloud9 didn't use a single one of their ultimate abilities, so all off cooldown, whereas Echo Fox used every single one of them. Of course, one shot going to be up very shortly, but that Termination Protocol and the Gauntlet it still has a fairly strong cooldown. First Tauren Monocle purchased for Old School, as well as a Aftershock, I believe it was, for I Love Joseph. So this is a great opportunity now for Cloud9 to try and use the fact they have ults and Echo don't. They're currently in the lane, looking for some action here. Fox playing very disciplined though. They understand that they aren't in position to fight against Cloud9. However, Lone Delphi once more is going to challenge for that tree and doesn't want to allow Joseph to steal any of his jungle camps. However, Joseph doesn't care about that. He will take it anyway.
Picking up all three, like, we had tier 3 items across the board pick up right there from Cloud9. Didn't really see quite the same spike here. I mean, Mixi, yeah, he's rocking that Sorrow, but a lot of, mix until then. Lone Delphi's starting to go defensive after that Shatterglass, right? So his burst might be phenomenal, but I think we have a big edge right now for Cloud9.
Yeah, they've certainly got the damage under their wing, and with Gauntlet coming up for Cold the Meek in just a couple of seconds, this could be where Fox decide that this is their time to fight. That's going to be Infusion there for Lone Delphi in the pocket, as well as the breaking point for the Kestrel. So perhaps Fox are also looking to get their hands wet.
Looks like Gabe Vissel is going to be prioritizing Vision after this one. So far, they've been able to dance around the middle of the fold very easily, and I feel if they can start putting down a lot of scout traps, they might just be able to start forcing Fox into a smaller and smaller safe area in the jungle, which means more and more just cash, straight up, right there for Cloud9.
Yeah, you can kind of see that Fox are trying their best to catch someone out, but look at I Love Joseph right behind the fight, making sure that if Fox are wanting to opt in for it, that they're going to be in trouble. He is a little bit separated from the team, doesn't manage to get that tree, and afterburn over the wall. Lone Delphi trying his best to just lay down a bit of hurt as punishment for stealing away his jungle camps, but currently Joseph just feels like he's on top. He's going in, he's doing burst damage on that Seeking Glaive. And actually Cloud9, they want the fight here. Gabe is going in, Gauntlet goes down. That's first blood already. I Love Joseph finds Mixi, and Lone Delphi gonna go down as well. It's a double kill. Cole the Meek doing his best to escape, but the party from Cloud9, they do decide they're going to retreat in the end. Recognize that there's no need to chase that captain under the turret. Instead, they're opting in for this first turret for themselves.
I really wish I had an instant replay to go over that one, because that was just really kited out spectacularly well. Cloud9, I Love Joseph was the bait. Old School picks up an Infusion right literally a second before the fight, and then from there, Cole the Meek tried to throw down that Gauntlet, but the silence is what won out that fight. The wait for it from Old School allowed us to bring down Delphi. He could not get his Termination Protocol off. He basically just went straight down, was not able to hit the button and get the explosive damage he's building up for.
It's something that I kind of just overlooked, is the fact that you do have that Blast Tremor and the wait for it for a double silence on the team fight. Either Gabe Bizzle or Old School can set that up, and the results are devastating against Echo Fox, as you're currently seeing Gabe Bizzle mercilessly zoom forward, just putting the pressure on. Already 2 kills to Cloud9, but the amount of objectives they got off them is huge. A 5,000 gold lead at 12 minutes. The tide is certainly in their favor.
Yeah, absolutely. And it did say that, Cloud9, a little bit of an edge when it came to their items. It looks like their spikes are just hitting just a little bit sooner. I mean, 5,000 gold is nothing to sneeze at. Now Old School's doubled down on the Tyrants. He is going to be hitting extremely hard when it comes to these next team fights. And again, with the Vision coming out, Gabe Vissel, he's finished up that contraption. We don't have a turret there in the lane. That far outer one is gone. Look at Fox and how much farther back they have to play. Their Vision, their safe area has been absolutely decimated. The Sentry is going to go down to no response, and Echo Fox's safe zones are starting to shrink.
How does Old School do this forecourt? Where at 12 minutes he has his breaking point double monocles. In Challenger Series, we were seeing teams not even get that until the 20-minute mark. That's 18 minutes ahead of some of the Challenger Series teams that I've been witnessing over the last week. This guy just doesn't miss a CS. Currently 146 at 13 minutes. He's above the mark he's expected to be, and he's 16 ahead of Mixi.
Supplementing just a little bit of that lane farm with some of the jungle there as well. But remember, this will be the second gold miner going into their pocket, so that's 250 gold right there, plus the Sentry, and of course they got 2 fights under their belt here as well. So it all adds up. The numbers don't lie. Gold School is really showing that he has not rusted over the winter.
Certainly hasn't, and perhaps the hype around this Cloud9 team was completely justified when you put all-star talent together. There's always a bit of a worry that perhaps they just won't synergize well, but from what I'm seeing right now, Cloud9 have come in like a wrecking ball. Watch out, and North America, there's new kings, but maybe not. Here comes Echo Fox. They want to fight. The Crystal Sentry getting involved as well. Lone Delphi trying to get in there. Here's the Termination Protocol. This time will pop. And Old School going to take a huge chunk of damage, but he's still alive. Lone Delphi will fall. They're going after Mixie. Joseph trying to get that as Cloud9 going to fall as well. A double for Old School. And there's I Love Joseph finding the ace. 14 minutes in. They're going to finish the Crystal Sentry off just in time to keep Joseph alive. They'll take the turret as well.
Wow, I really expected that turret to bring down I Love Joseph's sliver of his bar, just barely showing, but he lives on. And as you see, the Crystal Sentry, he's going to be down for the count here as well. You really can't go toe-to-toe, it seems, with Joseph. Old School able to kite back just miraculously well there as well. And again, more infusions. Old School had that level 11 there. We popped the level 10 from Mixie, but Delphi, like, if he had another infusion, for example, he might have actually just been able to blow up Old School, but because he was able to live on with 2 health bars by the end of it, and he was just dancing out of range of everyone else, means he goes down. We get the triple, another turret, and just more farm going into the C9 coffers.
This all before 15 minutes. Hello, my beautiful beast. The Kraken will be spawning onto the Halcyon Fold now. And a massive objective for Cloud9 to take. In fact, they're just starting it up here. Echo
That
Fox
was Crucible.
In the tri-bush. Cloud9 know that they're there, but Old School doesn't care. He wants to just start this up, force Echo Fox's hand, and Echo Fox are forced to make a really long walk around their jungle. This Kraken is going to go down for free. Echo Fox aren't even contesting it. They are scared of Cloud9.
The fact that Cloud9 kind of hit a panic button right there, he saw Gabe Vizzle coming in, perhaps he thought there was going to be a blast tremor coming through. He hit the Crucible. As soon as that happened, if any teamfight had gone down, Cloud9 basically has free reign on two sets of silence right there. Like Lone Delphi might have been able to block his own, maybe Mixie there as well if their timings are impeccable, but not having that Crucible from Cole was a big tool out of the box, and it's a big reason why they had to give ground there.
That's the third life of the Crystal Sentry, which means that she will no longer come back to the map. Cloud9 at the moment just tearing through the base as Cloud9 to get engaged on. That choke point turret has dropped, and there's nothing really stopping Cloud9 from taking the entire base of Fox. They're going to have to start the fight. The gauntlet goes down to set the action up, but at the moment Cloud9 are in control. Lone Delphi quite not able to find the damage onto Old School. Diving forward, he doesn't get the kill, and that means Cloud9 can turn this around. I Love Joseph looking for the damage. In fact, Old School will fall back because the Kraken is doing the work. Cloud9 do not need to give up their lives for that beast. 5-1, Fox will find a return kill. Cloud9 going to just count their cards, return another day.
I am just floored, not from simply the fight. Like, the Kraken did her work, and we had the distraction there. You saw I Love Joseph, he peeled the other way. Yeah, he knew he was dead, but he also distracted Fox long enough. They got a significant amount of damage on. Look at this jungle, Dowsy. It is pure scout traps for Cloud9. Fox, like, they need to start really clearing this out, because this jungle, there is nowhere for them to hide. They are having every move documented by Cloud9. There are no surprises left here.
Old School, Gabe Vizzle are just posturing so far up without Joseph to support them. They feel so confident here forecourt in their ability to kite back. Of course, Catherine, so much peel on her end. Fox, he's certainly mobile as well. We're at the 17.5 mark. A good one shot onto Old School. A bit of extra damage. It's great to start off the fight here. But Echo Fox are going to need a miracle to bring themselves back into this game.
Old School's armored up. Joseph has followed suit. He has an Aegis there on top of things. Gabe Vizzle does not have a Crucible. He's gone for the War Treads instead. So he's sitting on 4 items. He's had that Atlas Cauldron forever now. But no Crucible versus a team with the Crucible. Like, usually you see an Ardent here, call the Make, right? He can threaten that Gauntlet. He can threaten to keep your entire team just locked down in that small enclosed area, which in theory goes great with an Alpha. But no Crucible from Gabe Vizzle. That's how confident they are on Old School and Joseph to get the timings down on top of those reflex. Like, they're saying, we don't need this. I can now go into the vision game. And again, like, there are no hiding spots left for Fox.
Yeah, Cloud9 know exactly what's going on in the jungle here, and they don't need to worry. That Crystal Sentry not going to come back to haunt them. The Gauntlet goes down. Old School caught in it. little bit off to the side of the fight. The Prime
Joseph.
Directive will land the one shot on to Gabe Fizzle, but can they get Old School here? He's diving backwards, and the damage is back on Echo Fox. That's going to be Lone Delphi in the reboot. Colby trying to tank up the damage. Glimmer shot after glimmer shot. They will get the reboot through, but that's Mixie knocked in the fight. No, I love Joseph just tearing through this lineup, and Fox are gonna fall here. That's gonna be the ace coming through. I love Joseph able to secure it, and with just a single turret left in this game to separate Cloud9 from the base of Echo Fox, this surely will be them taking down this Fate Crystal turret and taking game 1 of the first game of the North American 2017 Spring Split.
The big thing for me is Koldomik just kind of jumping the gun a little bit too early on a lot of these fights. He saw early on during the Kraken, right? Gabe Fizzle charging forward, uses the Crucible. We go back, the Kraken is pushing, uses the Crucible early there as well. Big tools out of the box, and then at that last fight, he throws down that gauntlet. Only gets the stun on Old School, 0 follow-up, and then again we kite. Lone Delphi gets low, silence, stunned, he goes down, no prime directive, no termination protocol.